I am not a basketball guy. I watch basketball. I cannot follow basketball like I do football. I don't know the ins and outs of it. There are too many people who understand it and are proficient at breaking it down a lot better than I can. But just by being a coach and seeing things with your eyes, I know bad basketball when I see it. I'm not sure what was going on with the 76ers. They had it, then they didn't have it. They started out slow, then they came back. Like I said, I watch basketball. I don't follow basketball. But all I know is if you're going to take that many outside shots and three-pointers, you got to have somebody under the basket to get some offensive rebounds. The fourth quarter of that game, it was still tight. Nobody had above a 2-point lead. And I understand the thought process. Like, you want to go from 2 to 5 in a shot. But if you're going to do that, somebody's got to back you up. Somebody's got to be hustling down the court to get underneath the blocks to possibly, just possibly pull down an offensive rebound. Because it seemed to me like every time Maxey or Harden or Embiid or somebody was taking the outside or a 3-point shot, the middle underneath the basket was vacated. Nobody was down there. So I don't understand how that works. Like I said, there's more people that can break that down better than me. But when you're going to take shots from the outside, somebody has to rebound offensively so you can get at least some of those shots back. And I just didn't see it. Like I said earlier, it's a very thin line between when you are on and when you're not. And it seems like the Sixers, their shots were not falling. Period. They just weren't. And got yourselves in trouble. We had opportunities. We had like 4 opportunities to take the lead in the fourth quarter, and we couldn't extend it. It was always 2 points, and you couldn't do anything with it. They couldn't get any further than that. So now we go to game 7. Anything can happen. And it's like, you're back on your home court. Just dominate. I don't understand why Joel Embiid, you need to work on that jump shot, that sky hook. Nobody's doing the sky hook anymore. And if you get it down, can't nobody stop you. But clearly that's not something you work on a lot. And that could be a very good shot for you. I still get upset because I'm old school, so I have an old school way of thinking. I don't want to see somebody 7'2" always taking outside and 3-point shots when you could be around the board just dominating. That's just me. But I understand the game has evolved. These players have evolved, and ever since Dirk Nowitzki, that's just how they play. So the 76ers had every opportunity to close this series out, and they just blew it. They couldn't take advantage of it, and they blew it. Now we got to go to a game 7 where anything can happen. That's not where you want to be, because the way they play and some of the lineups Doc had on that floor, it doesn't matter that you're at home. It doesn't. When you do what they did, I can just imagine what some of the response is going to be after this press conference. I had to turn the game on. I turned the game off twice. So, like, I don't want to. It's like, come on, man. Like, we had every opportunity to take control and we couldn't do it. So I'm curious to hear. I'm going to wait until tomorrow. I'm not going to follow it. I'm not going to follow up with it tonight. I'm just going to put it off until tomorrow. In the morning, I'm going to read the quotes and hear all of the, Monday morning quarterbacking for this game. They had an opportunity to take it and they couldn't. Now on to football a little bit. If you didn't catch my show, Pro Fan Talk, on A2D Radio, check that out. My conversation with Ian Cummings. That dude is off the chain. Check him out on his Twitter page and on Pro Football Network. His analysis of college players, free agents, drafted players is awesome. So check it out. Subscribe to my channel. But real quick, I wanted to go over this NFL schedule. They just released everything, and the leaks came out, and they were pretty much spot on. Week 1, we have the Patriots at Patriots. So we are traveling to New England. Then we take the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. Then we travel to Tampa Bay on Monday Night Football. Week 4, we have the Commanders at home. That'll be an interesting game, especially with Eric Bieniemy. Week 5, we go to the Rams. Week 6 is going to be interesting because we go to the Jets. So that'll be Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Hurts. So that should be interesting. Week 7, Dolphins come here. Week 8, we are back in Washington for the Commanders. Week 9, the Cowboys come to town. And then we go into the bye. So the Jets, the Dolphins, the Commanders, and then the Cowboys. We got a tough schedule. Commanders are going to be good. The Rams, we should be fine. Jets are going to be good. Dolphins are going to be good. Commanders, and then the Cowboys. Cowboys is always a crazy game. So that's week 9 going into the bye. Week 11, we go to Kansas City. That is the Monday night game. That is the Super Bowl rematch. So hopefully both teams will be at strength, especially at week 11. That's a lot of time for injuries to set in, but hopefully we will be okay. Week 12, we have Buffalo. Buffalo comes to town. So that should be a good matchup. And then week 13, the 49ers come to town. So all of this whining and all this bitching that they've been going through. That's why they call them the 40 Whiners now. And you know what? I like San Francisco. I don't have no problem with none of their players, but it's too much. They've never been that type of team before. And I've said before, like the stuff Brandon Ayuk said after that game, I get it. You're pissed off. You lost your quarterback. You don't feel like you had a shot in the game, and we just basically ran all over you. So some of the stuff he said, I don't have to agree with, but I get it, especially after a game like that. And so, right after the game, a week after the game, I understand. We're 4 months. And we'll see you again this season. Like, stop bitch moaning and complaining. Debo. It's not, you guys are not that type of team, and you don't have that type of mindset. So it just seems like you whining about it. And like I've said before, if the situation was reversed and it was the Eagles who lost their quarterback and the 49ers ran all over us, we would be saying the exact same thing. That part I agree. But so would you. The 49ers fans would be like, well, that's tough. That's the way it goes sometimes. Deal with it. See you next year. So it is what it is. But take your medicine, get better, and move on. And we'll see you at week 13. Week 14, we go to Dallas. Week 15, we go to the Seahawks. Week 16, the Giants come to town. That's Christmas at 4:30 in the afternoon. Christmas is on a Monday this year. And then week 17, the Cardinals come to town. And then week 18, we go back to New York. That's the second week in a row we play the Giants like twice in 3 weeks. I don't understand why they do that. Put some space in between there. Do something. I hate that. But it is what it is. So we got a pretty rough schedule. You got some good teams on the board. Yeah, that week 9. I mean, I'm not going to say they're going into a bye, but you're talking about weeks 11 through 15. That's going to be pretty tough. So we'll handle it, and we'll see what we can do. But this is another step closer to the season. We got all of our pieces, and we're ready to play. It's going to be very interesting to see what our coordinators do with the pieces they have on the board. I heard the press conference today by Sean Desai. He said all of the right things. I didn't expect no less. Not giving away any trade secrets. It's kind of hard to. So really, we're just trying to see what type of scheme he's going to play, what he's going to do different. I don't see him really changing much. You shouldn't. We had the top defense in the league last year. Why would you change it? Tweak it. There's definitely some things we can do better and do differently. So you can tweak it, but I don't see a real need to change. So he's going to, and I don't think he'll do that. He'll have a couple of ideas and add some wrinkles to make it his own. Because you just don't want to be a Gannon clone, especially with all the trouble he's going through right now. So I expect Sean Desai to have the right pieces on the board and make the appropriate moves. Our defense is going to be hellacious again. In my opinion, our only question mark is what they're going to do with the linebacker situation. And it's not really a situation. It's just, other than Nakobe Dean, we don't know really what we have. We just signed a kid from, Michigan State, undrafted free agent, I believe it is. So Nakobe Dean, is he still going to be a Mike? Are we playing a scheme where we only got two linebackers in the backfield, defensive backfield? So they're covering, running backs and tight ends and all that kind of stuff. So it is my opinion that Nakobe Dean is going to make us wish he played last year. I think that's the type of impact he's going to have. So I'm very, very interested to see how Sean Desai is going to use those pieces on the board. On the flip side, Brian Johnson calling the offense, he's in the same boat. Not really much you need to change, but there are some things you got to tweak. We are going to have a ridiculous running back room this year. Rashad Penny, Kenneth Gainwell, DeAndre Swift, Boston Scott, Trey Sermons. All of those guys can get quality playing time. But it's only one ball. And Jalen Hurts are going to have some of those touches. It's all about touches. It's not about carries anymore. It's all about touches. I am very, very hopeful that Brian Johnson will implement some type of screen game so we can take advantage of having Swift and Gainwell and the tight ends that we have. So I don't foresee us changing much, but we do have some tweak. We do have to tweak some things. If I see that 3 wide receivers to one side and we run that stupid wide receiver screen, I'm going to lose it. We got to be better than that. So we got 3 explosive backs. We got 3 backs right now that can start for other teams, that should be starting for other teams. Rashad Penny is that dude, DeAndre Swift, and Kenneth Gainwell. I think people are sleeping on Kenny Gainwell. He's better than advertised. We just got to use him right. So I don't know. Are we going to be running back by committee? Are we going to have packages? All of this stuff is up in the air. Everything is an X factor. Everything's a variable. We don't know what is coming. It's going to be hard to see during camp because they don't hit in camp. They just don't. So they do these newer days. They got the fluff helmets on. So it's going to be hard to gauge, or at least it's more difficult to gauge exactly what you have until you see it in the game situation. So there's a lot to come. I think the Eagles will be fine. We have reloaded. Howie's reloaded this team. And there's a difference between getting players to fill a need and reloading. Reloading means you're good at every position still, even though you got new players. And I think that's what Howie has done. He has reloaded the Eagles, and we're ready to come out swinging. Everybody's going through the same things. All of these teams that we got to play, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Niners, the Cowboys, the Seahawks, they've all gone through the same stuff. They got new players coming in. They had coaches leave. They got some turnover. So it's not just like everything is happening to the Eagles and everybody else is standing still. Everybody's going through their mess. But with us having QB1, Jalen Hurts, that gives us a clear advantage. The Jets is going to be interesting because everybody want to see what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. Some people think he's going to be the savior. Others think he's washed up. So it'll be very, very interesting. And I think the Eagles are ready for it. And I'm ready to see. This summer is going quickly. The pace has been picking up. We're at Mother's Day this weekend. And before you know it, we'll be staring into preseason. So it's moving. So we're going to keep an eye out. There's always been news every week. You can't concentrate on the Phillies or the Sixers or heck, even the Flyers were in the news. But nothing is going to overshadow the Eagles. So I'm excited. The games are going to be really good this year. None of that mess about a weak schedule. That's out the door because this is murderer's row right here. And it could all shake out because there's some games on the list where what happens if, some of these teams are not going to be as good as advertised or as good as they think they were last year. A lot of things are going to change. So, but I'm ready to get to it, man. I am ready to get to it. So, do me a favor. Please subscribe to my channel. Click that notification bell so every time I put something out new, you will be in the huddle. All right. And I'm going to see you guys next time. Definitely going to have some more information coming out, probably over the weekend. So stay tuned. Go Birds.